Hello, everyone. So this season, I've joined SSX, and SSX is in an interesting position. They're a Masters Alliance, but they're not really pushing for Masters this season, just from some burnout. Um, so as a result, this is going to be a bit wonky. Anyway, I'm going to be recording all my fights, and I'll be uh, rewatching them to try to learn from them and fix mistakes. And so I'll be sharing those with you. If you like it, great. If you don't, then these are just for me. Um, so one of the effects of not doing full planning is of not going all out in war is that we're not going to be doing full planning. Um, I was one of the last to join war, so I feel a little bit like I got squeezed into this lane rather than it actually being a good lane for me to take. Um, and you'll see that come into play a little bit later. So I actually skipped section one. This is the window of opportunity stun Dragon Man, and my plan here is use Mr. Fantastic, duke it out, throw some SP2s, and just end the fight. And it's going to work pretty well. Mr. Fantastic has Defiance, so I don't have to worry about Mystic Dispersion or the Global or anything like that. I took that first SP1 on the block thinking I would heal from it, but then I realized I have that passive power gain, sorry, that passive heal block, so I actually won't be healing from it. So you can see here I have my my second stack because I threw that SP2, and this fight is going great, right? I have 95% to his 21%. But he has that power gain, and I want to try to keep him to that SP1 because I know it won't do any damage to me, but I timed it wrong, and I tried to parry just before the stun timer came off, and I ended up doing it just after. That resulted in all of my debuffs falling off, so we're just in a bad place now. So we get our SP2 back in. Let's see how this goes. We'll try to claw this back, but he throws his SP3. So I'm now just praying that I actually make it through this, because who knows what's going to happen at this point. So great, I'm at 10%, he's at 4%. I did survive though. So now he's unblockable and unstoppable. I have to dex this against the wall. But I did get that intercept off. He was still unstoppable, but I knew that after my first hit, I would have a SP1. So I was actually planning to do that intercept and then throw an unblockable SP1. Oh, it wouldn't have been unblockable. Anyway, I would have just thrown the unblockable into his block and seen what happens. So I actually missed a fight there, but I'm going to skip to this one because it's going to go great. This is the fight I was nervous about, right? It's Cersei. That was just a straight up drop parry. That I really don't feel like that was my fault. I definitely parried, but not great. Not off to a great start here. Rich Get Richer is definitely helping her out. Don't love that. She's getting a ton of power, transmutation. And then I go in and I'm like, great, I'll just go into poison, I'll throw my SP2 and that'll be fine. Now transmutation is back up. So now when I throw this SP2, it's not debuff immune. So now nothing happens. And now she throws an SP3 and I'm just going to die. This fight was, I think we're like 20 seconds into this fight. She has an SP3 and I'm dead. So obviously there's stuff to learn about here, right? Don't get hit by the heavy. Time it better. Maybe MD5 is not great. Like manage power. There's a lot of things to learn there. Anyway, so going back in, I talked to my alliance mates, talked about it. Really didn't think I did anything wrong. But this time you can see I switched to poison right away, and I'm just going to stay in poison for the rest of the fight. And the goal is going to be the same, right? Time that SP2 to get that buff immunity while her transmutation buff is off so that my buff immunity will actually stick. So, looking good. Are you serious, Kabam? I already lost this fight. I already died once. I now have an invulnerability boost on. I go back in, and you just disconnect me 3 seconds into the fight. How the hell am I supposed to play that game? So, great. Okay, going back in now. By the way, I haven't cut this recording at all. This is literally, it went to that screen, hit re-enter, going back in because I'm trying to keep that invulnerability boost back on. So, what's the plan? Same plan. We're going to switch to poison first, try to throw that SP2 while the transmutation buff is down. This can't be that hard. But I've already recorded 2 deaths in my first war with the Alliance, and honestly, that Mr. Fantastic fight wasn't great either. So we're going back in, and this time, same plan, right? Just cost me 2 potions, same plan. We're going to switch to poison. We're going to wait for that transmutation buff to fall off. but now I have too much power because for whatever reason, RNG, she got more regens this time. So now I'm worried again, because now I have to throw this SP3. I have to get back to an SP2 before that, while that transmutation buff is back off. So I'm worried again. Honestly, I don't think Claire is the right counter for this fight in retrospect. I don't think it's the right move. Some people were talking about Doom because apparently Doom staggers can get around the Mystic Ward, which is why I was using Claire in the first place. But actually, I think if I were to do this again, I would have just used CGR. I think his Damnation will get around the Mystic Ward. And if that's the case, then we don't have to... Once we get the Damnation up, a first round of Damnation, we'll be winning the power fight. So we'll be getting our own power, and she won't be. So I think that's probably the way I would send. That's probably what I would send here in the future. We did get it. It worked out. It was not good. Recorded 2 deaths, even though only one was my fault. But the one that was my fault was pretty bad. So I did miss a fight there. It was Cosmic Ghost Rider versus Captain Falcon, Captain America, Sam Wilson. It was a pretty quick fight, maybe 15 seconds, power start 1, end fight. This is actually going to be pretty much the same fight, except I was worried about it because of the global. I thought about going into this fight with Claire, but I decided that Claire might still be a problem because of the global and missing. But CGR doesn't have that problem. So I did a duel, made sure that he was not armor break immune, because for some reason I thought he was armor break immune, probably because he's like part thing. And now, because I have a cosmic power back boost on, I'm also winning the Rich Get Richer node. You saw I just got SP2 pushed me to SP3. I even got hit by a heavy in this fight because I really didn't want a Dex. Not sure that was the right move, but it's the choice I made, and it was a choice in the moment. I was like, I don't want a Dex. I'm just gonna get hit by this heavy. Won't be a big deal. So that was my war. 4 fights. Recorded 2 deaths. Not good. And I hope you enjoyed this. And if you didn't, then it was just for me. Have a good one.